Welcome to today's interview on Brighteon.com. I'm Mike Adams, the founder of Brighteon Free Speech Network, and my company has been named in various documents by the federal government. This came out in numerous lawsuits. In fact, Schmidt, the Attorney General of Missouri, with the Gateway Pundit and other plaintiffs, filed a lawsuit against various agencies of the federal government. And in discovery, it turns out that my own organization is named to be targeted by the government for defamation, deplatforming, blacklisting, financial blacklisting, and so much more. Our government, by abusing its power and reach, has been turned into a weapon against we the people. And our guest today is an attorney with an organization called Targeted Justice, and the website is targetedjustice.com. Her name is Ana Toledo, and she joins us today because she and her organization have filed an historic lawsuit to try to reel in these broad, dangerous overreaches by what I would consider to be a rogue federal government that is weaponized against the people. Ana, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on today.
Thank you, Mike. It's great to be here. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate your time and your efforts. So since this is the first time that we've ever spoken, and you're a first-time guest with us here, give us the big picture. Let's start there. What does our audience need to know about Targeted Justice and the lawsuit that you filed earlier this year?
Well, the most important thing that they should all know is that although it is Targeted Justice that is filing this lawsuit on behalf of targeted individuals, which I will explain in a little while what they are, this is important to and relevant to anyone in the United States and in the world, but we are invoking the United States Constitution because anybody can end up in what is called the terrorist screening database. As we have seen whistleblowers going into Congress and speaking when they say people have been placed or have been categorized as domestic terrorists, that is nothing but that they have been placed in this list. And the consequences for the people that become targeted individuals are ghastly. They are horrible. It's a human experimentation program. And the way we discovered, one of the founding members of Targeted Justice discovered it, is that as he was lying on the floor because of microwave attacks on his leg that caused him a blood clot, the sheriffs didn't let the ambulance come into the property saying that they were told there was a terrorist in the premises. And wow. That is, yes. And so while he laid on the floor, while they were securing the area, meanwhile, he only lived there with his 87-year-old mother. And he almost lost his life because that's when he found out that the relationship between being a targeted individual and being on the list.
So wait a second. So the federal government can, without any due process or rule of law, they can place you on a targeted terrorist list. And once you're on this list, you can be denied basic public services, such as what you just described, ambulance services, potentially medical services, 911 response services, or medical or perhaps even financial services, right? And we've experienced financial deplatforming ourselves, and solely because of our viewpoints, right? So essentially they're saying you're a terrorist if you have viewpoints that do not align with the lies of the current administration. That's where we are.
That is correct. You got it completely. It's, we hadn't talked before, but you totally got it. And here's the thing, like the whistleblowers have been saying that there's a pressure to categorize people as domestic terrorists. It's not just getting, with banks and getting negative effects and bad treatment by businesses, but targeted individuals that are in the in the category 3 prong, because there's 2 categories. There's a category 4, which we believe it's like, yeah, you get microwave with directed energy weapons, and you get what it's called organized stalking, that maybe, you leave your car in the valet parking, and when you come back, the key is broken, or you just get your tire slashed out of nowhere, things like that. But then there's the category 3, which are the ones that have really terrible physical attacks. Most of the targeted individuals are on category 4, and some of them don't even know that they are targeted. Some of them might feel like, if you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh God, I'm getting old too fast. It's not that you're getting old, it's that you're getting microwaved it's the use of cell towers. 90% of the microwave attacks come through cell towers. And so the way we have an affidavit on the record from an FBI representative that says that there is the terrorist screening database, which is only supposed to be comprised of known and suspected terrorists, with the reasonable grounds, legal criteria is reasonable grounds to do so. But then there are other categories, as admitted by a former terrorist screening center deputy director, Mr. Timothy Groh. He admitted that there are people in that list that don't constitute a terrorist threat or a threat to national security, and they are not screened as such as when they travel. That is why none of my 18 plaintiffs, when they get on a plane, they don't get screened, so they never found out, like the people in the categories 1 and 2. 1 is no terrorist, and the instruction of the FBI is arrest them if you come in contact with them. 2 is a suspected terrorist, and those are the ones that are subjected to hours of screening before boarding a plane. And then there's 3 and 4, which is where most targeted individuals are. So you travel and you're like, well, I can't be categorized as a terrorist because, I can go through and there's no problem with it. But that's not true. That Mr. Groh admitted that, there's people there that don't have ties to terrorism, but they're there for other reasons.
Right, other reasons, which could include just making a campaign donation to Donald Trump, for example.
Exactly.
I want to bring your attention to something else too, Anna. On my screen here is a PubMed article about a chemical called diethylnitrosamine, or DEN. This is a chemical that's used to induce carcinogenic liver injury in mice. This chemical is actually used by laboratory researchers to give mice rapid onset liver cancer or pancreatic cancer so that they can test cancer treatments on mice. But it has come to my attention now that this chemical is being used as a contact poison against targeted individuals, so that we actually have government agents that are trying to find out where people are, time and place, public speaking event, travel through an airport, even their home or the handle of their car door or what have you. And they're applying this chemical, DEN, diethylnitrosamine, so that the targeted person absorbs this chemical, and then they die from liver cancer or pancreatic cancer within a few months, and they are never the wiser of what happened. So this is like a 6-month assassination chemical. Have you ever heard of this or anything like this that's being used against individuals?
Well, I can tell you that not this in particular, okay? But I can tell you that I know targeted individuals get slow poisoning. Many of us don't go out to eat. Or if we do it like in a buffet style place where nobody can put venom, poisons in our food. And that to me is the sad part about it is that the government officials, the rogue people carrying out this human experimentation program, go out and tell these people, this is a terrorist. You're doing something good. You're being a patriot because this is a terrorist. And
you're saying that they would say that to the cook crew, the chef crew, to cooperate with the poisoning of a dish.
Well, I can tell you I have been poisoned on at least 2 occasions. And I just, because within 2 hours of being in the place, I have like this full cold or flu or, and it's, so you just stay away from that. I have one of my plaintiffs, she had to, after having lunch in a place, she had to stop her car, just to throw up because she got